Hello, Horton here. Why do I have my shorts pulled up? Well, because I want to show off for a bit. My legs, they're in pretty good shape, as you could probably tell from that pan my wife did. She was in a full squat here. She was working her legs as she was panning my legs. It was kind of a perfect moment for both of us. But I want to talk about how important it is to work your legs cardiovascularly, isometrically, plyometrically. And I'm going to show you 3 basic moves that I think are super important. And one of them is a stretch, one of them is a kind of a more of a range of motion, and one of them is more plyometric in nature. And I'm going to show you little modifications here. Okay, so I'm a skier. I love to go to the mountains. I love to go to Jackson Hole. It's a little over 4,000 feet from the top to the bottom. And over the course of the last couple of years, I'm able to ski from the top to the bottom of the mountain with no breaks, because I'm also working on my heart and my lungs too, cardiovascular, my legs, right? So tonight, for example, is plyometrics. Is it my favorite night? But I do it anyway, and you can see the result. I do not lift weights. I do not use weights when it comes to my legs. I move athletically. I try to get as high as I can. I try to get as low as I can. And that way, that's the reason why I do legs 3 times a week, because I want to go out to Jackson Hole in the winter time and I want to just charge, right? And so you're also, every time you work your legs, biggest muscles in your body right here, your glutes and your quads and your hamstrings and your adductors and your IT bands and your calves, that's where all the power comes from, right? So you want to make sure, I can't tell you, here it is 2025, 26 pretty soon, and people skipping leg day still. Like, holy cow, this is where the health is, down below. All right, now I'm going to show you one move that's really important. It can be an isometric move. It can also be a regular exercise, and it's just a simple plie squat. All right, now here is the range of motion version of this exercise, and I recommend that anybody try to get on down here. I don't know, start out maybe 30 seconds. And if this is brutal for you and your hips are really tight, whatever, and you feel like your heels are off the ground, I don't want you to judge that. Don't judge that. Maybe some of you are like this. You're shaking, you can't get your heels down. So I just want you to count to 30 and then stand up and shake it out, all right? Because you're stretching those muscles, ligaments, tendons, maybe in a range of motion your legs have never done. But the more you do, the better you get, correct? So over time, my hope is that you can get right on down here. And here's what's kind of fun. If you got paperwork or stuff or whatever, you got texts or emails, you just get here on the floor and you do it like this, as opposed to sitting in a chair where nothing's happening. There's so much happening here, flexibility-wise, mobility-wise, range of motion-wise, kind of all the same thing. All right, so I'm working on ankle mobility, knee mobility, hip mobility, and this is just gold. I mean, I got a friend, Spencer, he spends a half an hour every day in this position, which is amazing. Now, what's important here is you can see how much lower my hips are than my knees. A lot of people squat, that ain't happening, right? And so if that's you, like, Tony, I can't do that, here's what I want you to do, all right? We're gonna work on reps now, right? So I'm gonna work on my glutes and my legs by just simply doing this. You can reach your fingers to the floor, all right? Fists to the floor, or palm the floor. Or maybe you can't even do that. I'll even show you a more modified version. You're just here, and you can come up, hands to prayer, that's it. And I would say 20, 30, 40 reps here. Don't be afraid. If you need to take breaks at the top, I'm all right with that, all right? So over time, because you know where that floor is, that's your target. And make sure you're not bending over. I can still see you as I go all the way down here and my palms are on the ground. Initially you're reaching, maybe you're touching, then you have fists, then you have your palms. And then if you don't want to do this and you want to add more, you reach up and then you reach down. Boom. You can go fingertips. Again, there are so many options. This is the deepest one. If you're a real rock star, you can get your forearms on the ground. All right, so that's your basic plie squat. Isometrically, very, very important. Doing reps, 20, 30, whatever it is, really, really important. And by the way, you go to powernationfitness.org and you're gonna see this move in more than one workout. It's really important. All right, so now, lateral lunge. Here's my lateral lunge. Now when I do, this is sort of the stretchy isometric version. And there's other versions where you can get your knee way out over your toe, right? And you can do this or whatever it is. But I like this version here, right? Tib, fib, straight up and down, knee above the ankle, and just kind of play here for a little bit. And just kind of bounce. This is, you're driving your center of your body down, and then you go over other side. All right, and so this can be just a simple stretch. You'll see this in a lot of my workouts, just kind of going back and forth. As you can see, I've got my entire foot on the floor. I'm not doing ankle roll thing. I'm not a fan of that, right? Also working on ankle mobility here. Again, now you see how my knee is on the inside of this part of my ankle? I'm gonna use my forearm to push that out over my ankle. All right, so this is just a stretch version, but you can turn it into a workout. Here, and here, and here. Now I'm rotating my feet. You don't have to. Some people like to keep their feet parallel the entire time, all right? That could be rough on some people's knees. Everybody's different. We're all built differently, right? So I like to do a little rotation, make sure my knee is out of my toe. Just like that, bang, doing the reps. So I'm working on my mobility, flexibility, and get my heart rate up here because this movement, because this is deep, a lot of muscle recruitment here. I'm working my glutes and my legs. Now to modify this, you're just taller. You're just up here, all right? Hey Tony, I can't go down that far, right? Chest is up, turn, just like that. Nice. Now, of course, these are the basics, and there's so many more. Go to PowerNationFitness.org and you'll see them. So let's do the simple lunge, all right? I'll get sideways for everybody. You have a step back lunge and you have a step forward lunge. Both different, working the body differently. Step back. This is kind of a straight leg version, or straight as I can get it. This is like the beginning of crescent pose in yoga, and then you come up. Also, play with the fact that you can gently drop that knee down. Wham! Now I'm getting more recruitment here in this quad. And I have just a little bit of energy here. I'm not hanging out here, right? So you got two different versions there, either side, right? Same thing on the side. Now you have a step forward version, which is here. All right, looks the same, but now I got to use the power in that leg to get myself forward. Other side, I'm right here, nice and deep, and push myself back. Now in this particular one, you have straight leg, slightly bent leg, but you don't want to go this low and then try to push up typically, unless you're kind of fit, you're doing this a lot. All right, so glutes, quads, adductors, all of that. There are 3 moves. Don't skip leg day. You don't need to go to the gym and do leg extensions and leg curls and calf raises and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I didn't really cover the calves today, but there'll be more in the future. So there you have it. Tony Horton working, making them grow so you can come to Jackson Hole and ski with Frogman. You're welcome. See you soon.